I had no idea you was a writer for the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to Will Smith. It's crazy to say like this guy found me. You know what I mean? But I always got to give him praise because that was my first big break in stand up and in this entertainment business. To be real with you, let's say this was July 2nd, 1992. I was a broke stand up comic. I had $11 in my pocket, caught the bus to the Laugh Factory up in Hollywood, sat in a 13-hour line just to go up and do 3 minutes on amateur night. I hadn't even been doing comedy 6 months. I was supposed to go up and do 3 minutes that night. I didn't even have 3 minutes of jokes. And I killed my little 2 minutes. And lo and behold, Will Smith was sitting in the front row of the Laugh Factory that night. And I got off stage. He was like, yo, man, you real funny, man. My name is, I was like, I know who the hell you are. You Will Smith. He goes, yeah, man, well, I got this brand new TV show. And I'm like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I watch it every week. The show had been on 2 years at that time. He was like, well, let me ask you a question, man. He goes, do you write? And I'm like, do you have a pen? He was like, you think you can come down and help us with some funny stuff like what I saw on stage tonight? I was like, hold on, let me check my schedule. Yes, I'm available. He was like, when do you think you can come down? I'm like, now? Can I get a ride with you? Yeah, I caught the bus to this thing. You know what I mean? And literally the next day, I was at NBC in Burbank on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And that was the beginning of the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I had no idea that, the magnitude of what that would have led to. But when I tell you, I'm like the epitome of being in the right place at the right time. And I took the bull by the horns, man, and he gave me that shot. He gave me that opportunity, and the rest was history, man.
How was that like though? You being on set and writing for the show.
The experience was incredible. And there's so many different things when I say incredible, like the relationships I got out of that show. All the people you got to remember on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, there was always like cameos and people that would drop by, whether it was Michael Jordan, whether it was Tyra Banks, whether it was Chris Rock, whether it was Jada Pinkett back in the, I mean, literally the who's who of Black Hollywood and other superstars would fall through the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. As far as the writing goes, man, I was just a dude with no experience. You know what I mean? I can't lie to you. The question I get all the time is like, did you go to writing school? Did you go to writing class? Absolutely not. I was just in the right place at the right time. You got to understand, a lot of those dudes that were on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, those were some guys that wrote some of the biggest TV shows of all time. Those dudes that I was in that room with, they wrote shows like Happy Days and Home Improvement and the Dick Van Dyke Show and Mork and Mindy and Happy Days. You're like, these are some serious writers, but there weren't too many people that looked like me, that looked like us. And I was kind of like Will's young voice. How would a young brother, because we just happen to be the same age, we're both Libras, and we just hit it off immediately. But I will say this, Will was always loyal to his family and the homies that he grew up with, because all his boys had some type of job on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When I tell you, I was the honorary Philly dude on that show all those years, because I'm straight born and raised South Central LA. You know what I mean? I'm an LA dude. I was the only LA dude on that set all those years. But it was a mutual respect. We all got along, and the show ended up being iconic.
What was the characters you was writing for?
Well, yeah, it started off with just, me kind of being like Will's personal joke writer. You know what I mean? And nothing against, again, those guys that wrote hit TV shows over the years, right? But as stand-up comedians, a lot of times, if you put me in a room with 5 comedians, we all feel like we can up one each other. You know what I mean? Oh, you thought that was funny. I got a line that's even funnier. You know what I mean? So a lot of times what I had to learn was structure. That's one thing those dudes had down. They knew how to write a joke and write a TV show, right? Where I came in was, the word is punching up. Punching up means you could be a dude that wrote 55 TV shows, right? And you wrote a line that was funny, right? We all chuckled. I take that line and take it from a chuckle to you falling out your seat and spitting the water out your mouth. It's like the difference between, I don't know how old you are, but it'd be like, nothing against them, but it's like watching a white comedy show or watching a comedian perform on Jay Leno or Jimmy Fallon, but then you come to a black night. You come to a Def Comedy Jam, Comic View, Chocolate Sunday. Our culture is completely different. What we think is funny sometimes and not what they think is funny, and vice versa. So by me coming onto the show, it was almost like me bringing a new energy, a new life, and taking those jokes a lot of times from here to here. You know what I mean? So when a lot of people find out that I was a writer on the show, something I get a lot over the years, they be like, so I knew it. You the reason Will Smith's so funny. And I'm like, no, I can't take that credit, right? You got to look at me like you look at Phil Jackson, right? Phil Jackson got lucky to coach two of the greatest players of all time. Michael Jordan first with the Bulls, and then Kobe Bryant with the Lakers, right? Phil's not the dude out there dunking. Phil's not the dude out there getting the triple-double, but he did run in those plays. It was a team effort. You get what I'm saying? And I had to earn my respect there. And as the years, I worked on the last 4 seasons of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I earned that respect of, that's a funny dude. He's a big part of this championship team. And it helped, I like to say it helped take the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to another level along with the other guys that I respect on the team. You know what I mean? But it was great for me because the learning experience was out of this world, man. You couldn't pay for the learning experience I got being around an incredible dude like Will Smith every single day for 4 years.
You being a writer for the show, right? Did you know about the tension between Will and Jenny Herbert?
So you ready for this? When I get that question all the time, it's a real simple answer. I never met the dark-skinned Aunt Viv. I literally started working the week she left the show. So the only Aunt Viv I knew was Daphne Maxwell Reid. So I caught the end. I wasn't there at the beginning of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I never really knew about that until later on when they put me up on it. You know what I'm saying? So never dealt with that. But it was I missed them too, man, because we really became like a family. Like literally to this day, I'm friends with everybody in Will's family. Like we did that show. Our last episode was 97. If Will's mother walked in here right now, she'd be like, Alex, his sister Ellen, his brother Harry. Like I literally became family. Charlie Mack, all the dudes, I give them all shout outs. Omar, Benny, all the dudes. Rest in peace, Tron. There was so many people on that show that we just became family. It wasn't like we were just on set friends. Anytime Will had a party at the house, birthdays, you know what I mean? Will's the guy that got me into golf. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot, man. So shout out to that family.